Hello, model fly-arounds are a simple way to show off your latest awesome work. As with most things in 3D, there are multiple ways to achieve the same result. I'd like to show you one of mine that is simple and effective in the majority of situations. So to begin with, we're going to position the view roughly where you want to begin. From here, add a camera and immediately press Ctrl, Alt and numpad 0 to align the camera to the view. This bit is optional, but I like to now split my viewport and keep one side as the 3D view and the other side as the camera view. You can switch the camera view to rendered shading if you prefer. With the camera selected, you can now check the focal length. If you've never changed the default, it's probably fine, but I do recommend reading about focal lengths for different effects. Once you're happy with it, you can press G and Z twice to move the camera in its local Z position until the camera view is capturing as close as possible. Next, we're going to add an empty. I just use a plane axis, select the camera and then the empty and use Ctrl P to parent the camera to the empty. If you don't already have one, split the window for a timeline. For fly-arounds, I find 10 seconds too fast and 20 seconds too slow. Of course, this depends on the model and how many rotations, but I've started using 15 seconds as my ideal duration. At 30 frames per second, this is 450 frames, so set the end time accordingly. At frame 0, with the empty selected, I press I and insert a keyframe for the rotation. Then I go to the last frame, rotate the empty 359 degrees, press I again and insert a key for the rotation. This isn't exact, but it will barely be noticeable when looping the animation. Scrub the timeline while paying attention to the camera view. If at any point the model leaves the view, adjust the camera's distance with G+Z until the shot is properly framed. This is it for a basic fly around. Sometimes if it's a model with a lot of visual interest, I will do 2 rotations, starting with the camera at a low angle, rising to a high angle by the end of the second turn. This is easily achieved by rotating the empty back and inserting the necessary keyframes. You may need to fine-tune the angle of the camera by the end to keep the subject framed. If you found this at all useful, feel free to give me a subscribe. Take care.